are you feeling getting back out there?
Feels great, honestly. Yeah, it's been a lot of individual skates, a lot of time working on skills, feeling good, just trying to get it back to normal, and it finally feels a lot easier, less thinking about it when you're out there with the guys.
What's been the biggest challenge coming back?
Yeah, I think that's just you're separated from the group. You're kind of skating by yourself. A lot of individual things. Your schedule's a little bit different because that's the easiest part is being with the guys, and that's the best part about being back at the rink after a long summer is seeing the guys again, having those friendships, and bouncing ideas off each other.
How difficult has it been? I mean, you re-aggravated the injury. This was twice during the season, and now what kind of mental toll has that taken to just get back to 100%?
Yeah, it's always a little bit frustrating at first. You're like, oh no, here we go again. But especially with the performance staff that we have here and the people that you have around me, or around me here, they always pick me up. They're always keeping me focused, and that's been huge for the journey to get back. Is keeping that focus and knowing that it will come, and just trusting that I'm doing the right things. And some days it's up, some days it's down, but generally the trend has always been I'm getting better, and that's where I'm at.
What's it like for you just trying to make this team? You got a taste of it last year. You're so close. What's it like for you?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's fun to be out there every day knowing that there's an opportunity in front of me, and that's what I'm trying to seize. Is just take that opportunity, give it my best, and I can't control what else is going to happen.
Has there been a message from management, coaching staff about what they want to see from you?
I think just sticking to my strengths, and I think that I know that's my speed, my shot, and just getting in on the forecheck, and that's going to be my bread and butter. That's going to be how I make an impact if I'm able to make the squad, and that's what I'm going to stick with.
What personal goals did you set for yourself this season?
I think number one was just getting healthy. I wanted to feel good because when you feel good, you're not thinking about, am I hesitating to take a stride out there? Is it going to hurt this way? Am I hurting this morning when I get up? I think feeling good and then knowing and trusting my skills will take over after that.
It's been a long road. Can you reflect back? When did the initial injury happen, and what happened?
Yeah, it was. I think it was in end of October last year with the Marlies. Just took a hit in the boards, jammed up my groins. One of my adductors slightly tore, and that's just a long process because there's not necessarily a lot of blood flow there or whatever it is. For me, it took a lot of healing, and I had it bother me all season last year. So I never quite was 100% last year. So that was a battle, and then just took another hit in Long Island there, and same thing happened. It was exact same spot on the ice actually too. Same impact on the boards and jammed up the groins again.
What's the first thought when you feel it?
Please go away. Yeah, you're just waiting for that pain to dissipate, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So unfortunately, that one lasted longer than I hoped.
Was it a fluke, or was it tied to the first one that hadn't fully healed?
Well, I think I was feeling good enough that I wasn't worried about it at all. I think it was more of a fluke than anything because I was feeling good. There was days where I would be like, okay, I remember I did hurt this earlier in the year, but I think it was more of just same spot on the ice and just putting myself in that position.
So it was more adductor, not knee issue?
The knee was also in there. There's an MCL on that same hit and the groins, but the groins was what delayed me coming back. The knee healed pretty quick. The groins are what plagued me throughout the summer.
Maybe a strange question, but even though you were dealing with injury, you still performed pretty well. Does that give you any sort of confidence now as you enter this season?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. It was something that I tried not to think about. Everybody's kind of got something going on throughout the season. Hopefully I can stay healthy this season, and yeah, if I can, then maybe I'll have a little extra juice.
I think it's been great. Lots of fun. I think I felt a lot more comfortable coming in this year. I thought Tavares went really well. I thought the team played well, and I thought I showed my game pretty well there. And then feel pretty good so far these first 4 or 5 days. Thought I had a good game in Ottawa there, and it was fun to get on the road for the first time with the team. And so I've had lots of fun. Thought it's gone well so far.
What stands out being on the road?
The travel is very efficient. You just go right from the car, parking lot, right onto the plane. That doesn't happen in junior, so that was pretty cool. Other than that, it's pretty similar. Yeah.
What's been the message from management for you heading into this season?
Just give it everything I got. Come in training camp day by day, earn another day, try to earn another day, and that's been what I've been trying to do. And then whatever happens, and just keep working, process, day at a time, and progress my game.
What are the expectations for yourself this season?
I want to have a great year. I have a goal of mine to hopefully play for Team Canada World Juniors. That'd be amazing if I could make that happen, and then just compete, get as many wins as we can, and work on my game throughout the year, like I said, day by day.
How long
have you dreamed about the World Juniors?
Probably since I got into WHL, maybe like since 16, 17, I thought it'd be a possibility. And then recently, a couple of years with getting invites to the camps in the summer, it's made it seem more realistic and something that has been on my radar.
Do you have a favorite World Junior memory watching as a fan?
Good buddies with Bedard and watching his success past couple of years. Those goals and the tournament he had last year is probably the coolest.
The way Connor has sort of turned Chicago around, got everybody so excited with all those goals, and
Yeah.
their rookie camp and all that.
Yeah, no surprise. That's what he does. He excels and exceeds expectations. So, pretty used to it by now with him.
What's your prediction for how many goals he gets this season?
I have no idea, to be honest. Like it's a different situation for every guy coming from junior into pros. Like there's teammates are a factor, size is a factor, all sorts of things. So I have no idea, but I think he'll do great.
What did you focus on this offseason? What was like number one, something you wanted to improve?
I don't know if there was a number one, number two. Just like I said, with everything else, trying to be as all around of a player as I can. So work on everything: shooting, scoring, skating. Watching film and just situations in games and routes as a centerman through the middle of the ice, defending, attacking. So yeah, a bit of everything, to be honest.
What did you learn about Easton through Traverse City and training camp now?
We're rooming together right now, so get to spend lots of time with him. He's a great kid. Super competitive, I think, as a player. I think that's probably his biggest attribute. You can see it out there. He hounds the puck all over the ice. Super competitive kid, and I really like him as a player. I think he's going to be a stud. Great guy, too.
High energy on the ice. Is he high energy as a roommate as well?
Yeah, definitely. He's always talking, getting us out of the hotel, stuff like that. So it's fun to room with him.
Have you done anything in Toronto so far that you've really enjoyed?
Usually we just go for a walk around down by the water or up through the city, just kind of cruise around, look for new areas, but nothing specific now.
Does he talk about chocolate milk? He's a big chocolate milk guy.
No, I haven't heard him mention that yet, honestly.
What's it like having Shane Doan part of the organization now?
That's really cool, especially with him being former Blazer and his roots there, and he's still involved there. So it's nice to have him to speak to, and he's just a great human being, super helpful, positive, lots of really good insight from him all the time. So I've loved speaking with and seeing Donor around so far.
Do you expect he'll be keeping tabs on you this season just because the Kamloops connection?
I hope so, yeah. He's pretty involved there, so hopefully hear from him a few times throughout the year.
Yeah, I actually felt pretty good. We had some chances, just I think a little bit off on some things, but that's preseason, so yeah, just build off of that.
Sheldon, you and Max really seem to click. What do you like about playing with him?
Yeah, I think we found each other really well, and creating some good chances, and hopefully we can build off that stuff. I think we're getting better and better every day together.
You've killed penalties before, obviously, but it looks like you might do it a little bit more often this year. What do you think of an expanded role, not just center, power play, and penalty killing?
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Is that, I don't know, important in a contract year, or do you even think in those terms?
Look, I told Sheldon about the center position and stuff. Like, I'm just going to play wherever you need me to play, and that's where I'm taking it.
What was the feel at center like? How did you feel in terms of that part of the game?
It's just a little D zone. I played center growing up, so it's not like that big of a deal. But just some D zone stuff, system stuff. That's a little different.
It's just one game only. What did you like about the way you kind of came back a bit in the face-off circle? Then you struggled a bit early on, but by the end of the game, you're winning a lot of the draws.
Yeah, I haven't played center in about 7 years and haven't taken really any draws on those 7 years. And obviously, it's going to take some time to get back in the face-off circle. But yeah, it felt good to come back there at the end and get some more draws, get some more wins.
Who surprised you most at camp? Has anyone caught your eye?
Ooh. I don't know. I think a lot of guys, young guys, are coming in with fresh legs and skating well and looking pretty good. So, yeah, they're keeping us competitive.
What do you make about how Nicholas on your line today in practice?
Yeah, he's, like I said, he's buzzing. I hope he has a great camp and, does his best, and we'll see what happens. But I think he's looking great. Whenever I've been playing with him, I think he's been a terrific guy to play with.
What stands out about how he shoots the puck?
Yeah, laser. He rips that thing. Yeah, you feel like if he gets a good chance, it's probably going in. So, yeah, it's nice playing with him.
When it comes to Max, why do you think you guys can click well? Like the styles of play can work well together?
Yeah, I think he's got good speed and nice hands and sees the ice really well. And I think we can try to find each other in different ways in the zone and on rushes and stuff like that.
His dad played here, played a long time. Do you share any stories of that as a guy whose dad was in the game?
Not yet. I mean, we've been pretty busy in camp and stuff. So, but we will eventually get to that.
Do you sense like his personality at all, or is it still too early? Like, what's your?
Oh yeah, I think he's a great guy. Yeah, I mean, just being on his line and talking, I think he's a great guy, and it's gonna be fun to get to know him more.
What was the takeaway Saturday? How did you feel first kind of preseason action?
Yeah, pretty standard for preseason. Obviously, it gets a little scrambly here and there, but all in all, I think both teams played hard, so got to respect that. Tried to focus on some of the details we've been focusing on in practice, and overall, the boys looked good in the first 2 games. Ultimately, didn't get the result we wanted, but hey, we'll figure it out here real quick. So looking forward to get back to work here in St. Thomas. It'll be a fun day.
William was saying he really appreciates playing you. Like, what sort of? It seemed like you guys were clicking. Like,
Yeah.
How would you describe the kind of the chemistry early on between you two?
Yeah, obviously both of us like to make plays, so that makes a big difference. And he's such a good skater, and when he gets the puck in the middle of the ice, he's pretty lethal. So he's a guy that, I mean, personally, I always thought he was a shooter, but when you really play with him, you see the plays he can make, and he can do both. So a lot of respect for what he can do, and definitely we're just trying to build every single day and keep adding to the chemistry. But we're getting there, and it's fun to play with him, fun hockey, and just got to keep building.
Having said that, Max, can your creativity go up a few notches when you do play with a player of his talents and the ability to get the puck in the net with that shot that he does?
Creativity is kind of one of my things, right? So I'm not going to change too much in that department, but certainly gonna work to get Willie in the spots he needs to get to create great A's, and vice versa too. He's going to make the plays he has to make, and I got to be ready to pull the trigger whenever that happens. So it's a two-way street, and like I said, we're building some chemistry. We're having some fun out there, and it's got to keep building.
What are your early impressions of Easton Cowan?
I think he's great. I mean, I wasn't playing last night, but I watched him, and he looks great. He's going to be a good NHL player for a long time. Plays hard. He's fearless out there. Makes a lot of good plays, and he's pretty wiry too. So you look at him off the ice, you wouldn't think he's the strongest guy in the world. Mind you, he does work very hard. I watched him in the gym, and he's pretty impressive. So, but when he does get on the ice, he's like one of those guys that strong on the puck, wiry, and he's got that little burst and energy too. So he's fun to watch, man. And I love that he's all in tonight too. So I guess we're in good hands, and he's a heck of a hockey player, but even better kid.
Had you heard about him before at all?
Yeah, I still follow the Knights a little bit here and there. Not as closely as I probably should, but I'm always keeping tabs on them, and he was one of their top players last year. I knew that, and obviously when he got drafted by the Leafs, I think everyone that lives in the city heard about him. So, I'm thrilled. I think he's awesome. He looks great in camp and works his butt off, and super humble and very, pretty confident in his own skin. So that's great to see when a young player comes in.
What's the dynamic like when you're playing with a center that hasn't played that position in a while, like in terms of your role in that, in terms of the give and take, the communication?
I said it earlier. Obviously, I kind of was in the same situation when I went to Montreal. I had never played center, and Claude Julien moved me to center in Montreal, and figured it out pretty quick. So when you're a guy that can skate and make plays, and you've been here for a while, and you understand the systems, and you play for the coach, it's pretty seamless. So I said it from day one. Willie's going to do a great job, and he already is doing a great job. He looks awesome, super comfortable, and he's only going to get better.
Do you find yourself like a sounding board, like giving the advice, or do you just kind of let him go to do his own thing?
No, listen, man, we've both been pros for a long time, so I'm sure if he needed anything, he wouldn't hesitate to ask, and vice versa. But at this point, you just play off each other, and both of us can play low. So if for whatever reason one of us gets caught behind the play, you just kind of fill in for your buddy and kind of take care of that in that way. And like I said, he looks great so far.
What's the key on draws? He was saying he's getting up to speed with that, taking a bit more of them. What sort of art is that?
It takes time, lots of reps. Last year, my first few years in the dot was tough. Obviously, when you come in, especially when you're a younger guy or just not experienced centerman, the linesmen don't always give you the benefit of the doubt of like a Bergeron or a Crosby or a Taves, and rightfully so. I think they've earned that. But as you get to know the linesmen, you start to figure out the timing and how that works out. So it's just a matter of reps. Face-offs is a thing that it's a skill, yeah, but you either want the puck more than the guy or not. And then once you get that down, which everyone does, you just get the timing, and it's pretty seamless.
I'm not sure if you heard from your dad after the first preseason game. Do you think he appreciated that you took a penalty on your first shift in a Leafs jersey?
No, I totally forgot about that, actually. No, I haven't spoken to him about it, but no, he's excited. He loves the jersey, obviously, but yeah, that was a weird play. I was talking to Jake, the ref, a little bit, and obviously, great guy. We were laughing about it. I'm like, really? 10 seconds in? And no, just having some fun. And he's like, it's preseason for me, too. So that's just how the game works. And you don't want to take a penalty that early in a game ever, but was that a penalty? I don't know. But it's preseason hockey for everyone. So just got to get our feet wet here, and it's coming pretty quick.
Did you talk to refs differently at this stage in your career
Yeah.
than you did in the
Yep.
first couple of years?
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. No, they're all great guys. They really are. Referees are probably the most important part of our game, really. And then they're all great dudes, but they have a tough job. They have the toughest job because they, have to kind of be the bad guy in every situation. So no one wants to get on them, but it's just kind of the nature of the game, and that happens. But as you get older, you start to realize that you cut them some slack, then they treat you with a little bit more respect too. And they are obviously senior to all of us, so you got to respect them, and then you show that respect, and it comes full circle. So great guys, and definitely a big part of the game. So I've learned a lot about how to interact with them over the years, for sure.
What's something you might have said to them earlier that you would say differently or not at all?
No, nothing that I would tell you, to be honest. But no, it's nothing bad, man. It's just one of those things. It's emotional game. Stuff happens, but like I said, they're all great dudes, and then they're having fun out there too. Best league in the world and best game in the world. So we're all happy to be out there and sharing the ice together.
What do you like about this setup this year? Not playing those first two games and getting in here.
Yeah, it's a little different. Just kind of trying to build here. So, yeah, I obviously last year was a different dynamic I hadn't had before. Obviously with the injury and kind of dealing with that. Obviously was right in the thick of it right off the get-go. So, I think the thought of just trying to build throughout the first week here, and I think Keefe and I had some good discussion on the group overall and myself individually. So, excited about getting it going tomorrow. And it's been a little while, so get some of the rest off and start adapting to competing again and playing, and obviously what preseason's for.
You've played with William and Mitch on your wings for a good chunk of your time in Toronto. With this kind of new look here, how does that change the dynamic for you?
Well, just different players, different skill sets, and what they bring to the table, and how I can maximize my line mates and how I need to play. So nothing different than any other point in my career when you play with different guys. So obviously, Mitch and Willie, two elite, dynamic, all-around players. So it's a great opportunity for me to raise my game and help Nyzy, Nyzy and Laugh here to start camp and make them better and utilize their skill sets and what they bring to the table. Obviously going to play important roles for us this year, so excited about the opportunity that we've had here to start.
Hey, John, what does it say to the veterans on the team when the youngster like Callan comes in last night, misses an early penalty shot and just sloughs that off and goes and has the game that he does?
Well, I think that's just his nature. I think you can see why, we had him highly touted, and we picked him in the first round, and why he's going to be an impactful player. He's just very tenacious, and I think he's just got great hockey sense. He just knows where to be at the right time, and he just kind of stays with it. Great instincts, good touch, and just little details in his game, protecting the puck, and the way he created that breakaway, just the way he was able to turn and did all that in kind of one motion and use his body and things like that aren't always easy to teach and then obviously to execute in the game, and he just has those instincts to make those types of plays in those situations. So you can see why he's highly touted, and we're really excited about about him and his growth and the potential he's going to have for our club.
He's older, but he's still young in his career. You mentioned the other day kind of scratching the surface. What sort of potential do you see in him?
Well, when you see the skating ability, it's such an asset, and for him, I think it's just continuing to to realize that and how he can impose that, how that affects the game and be really difficult to play against. And I think for like any player, always just finding consistency and rhythm and doing it over a long 82 game grind and understanding what you got to do to be impactful every night, and whether you have your best stuff or you don't, and just trying to adapt your game to that. So I think more and more his confidence is growing, and the belief in what he brings to the table and what his skill set is and how he can impact the game. So opportunity for me to push him and challenge him to really use that and build confidence with that, because it's such an asset.
You talked about the ramp-up process in this version of camp for you. Is that doing a lot more skills and a lot more one-on-one stuff leading up to before your first game?
I don't think it's necessarily that. I think it's just continuing to balance the volume. It's a long year. I missed most of camp last year, and I felt really good to start the year. So I think that just showed me a lot about the work you put in over the off season, and you think you want to be all systems go first day at camp in terms of your rhythm, your timing, all those sorts of things. I think it's more so just kind of continuing to build and understanding the big picture. With obviously the mindset of just trying to get better every day. So I think it's just a balancing act of building and how much volume and doing what you need to do to get ready. So because for me, I know personally, it's always hard. I think as a competitor, you get out there, you want to go out there and play at a high level, execute at a high level, and compete very hard. So. It's important. You're not looking at to kind of rev things down. I think it's just trying to manage the volume and something Kiefer and I have talked about. Our performance team's talked about. As a group, we haven't got off to the best start the last couple of years. So for us, trying to manage all those different types of things, so we're ready to go individually as a team as we build throughout camp and the early part of the season.
Would you say that's a blessing in disguise that you got that data point from last?
Yeah, that's just going through it and being in my 15th year now, and all the experiences I go through and where I'm at in my career personally, and all the things you take in, you go through, you understand a little bit more and more. Obviously, the way sports science is advanced really over the last probably 5, 6, 7, 8 years, I would say, and the performance team we have to work through all those types of things. So it's a balancing act, and it's not always perfect. That's what you're always working towards, to improve and get better, and just be a little bit more detailed and be as smart as you can be with making sure you're getting your work in, and the detail and intensity, the quality is all there. So. It's all part of what camp's all about.
Sheldon, what sort of potential do you see for Tavares with Nice and Lafferty? How are you hoping they'll mesh together?
Well, obviously, I'm thinking that we got guys there that could complement one another. I like Lafferty's straight line speed and ability to get that line through the neutral zone clean and get into the offensive zone, and that's where John does his best work, and Nice for that matter, while also having on both sides of John two guys that will skate just as hard on coming back to our zone, be good defensively, play against good players, and not have to have any concern or drop off. So I like the ability to talk about with William at center. We still have we have three good options there, and then David Camps on line 4 is as trustworthy as a guy as we have. So it's a good mix the way that all comes together there.
You got Bobby McMann back and Simon Benoit, two guys starting a little bit late because of injuries. Yeah. Also, two guys probably on the bubble as far as the concerned. What do they have to do to catch up, and what do you expect from them the rest of the way?
Yeah, they are playing a little catch up for sure. Now the good thing is that both have been skating, but not with the group, and they've been in the meetings, but not on the ice and getting the reps. And of course, they're already behind a little bit in preseason, so. They got some catching up to do for sure, but both guys have some experience. Benoit, obviously, more so than McMann, but McMann has been here and has played for me and played for our group and with our guys, so they have some advantages that way. It's just nice to see them on the ice and see them take a step here. So there is 6 preseason games left, and you know they're going to come quickly, but there's runway there and opportunity for those guys to get going. But both guys I thought looked really good today, and you know it's two bigger guys stepping on the ice here today, and Ben wanted the big bright red jersey, but at first, you know, it was surprising to see a guy out there, you know, big and strong and physical, and you haven't seen him before, so it was nice to get him out there. And Bobby, big guy that can move and you know get up and down the ice real quick. So 2 good additions to the camp.
Anything concerning at all, Croak?
Yeah, just day to day for him. Something came up in practice a few days ago and just hasn't quite settled yet. Nothing we're too concerned about. Like when I spoke to him today, he thought he might get back on skates tomorrow and start working his way back towards playing. But yeah, just day to day at this point.
What do you hope Easton gains from practicing with NHL players today?
Well, there's a couple things. I think this entire camp for him is a great experience. It's his first camp. Get a feel for NHL habits and details and the structure of how we would want our guys to play. So there's that piece of it, but like he's a guy like him comes in, you're thinking all about the experience, and then it seems like almost every day he's out there, you come away thinking he's one of the best players on the ice. So just keep stacking together good days and see what happens, and enjoy the time here. He's going to play again tomorrow night. Yeah, I'm really excited about him. He's been great to have. He comes every day with a smile and good energy, yet when the puck drops or he's in the drill, he's serious, he's competitive, and those are all the things you like to see in any player, regardless of their age.
You say something about him too last night. He, the inexperienced Sheldon, he doesn't score in the penalty shot, but he forgets about it right away and goes on to keep getting better and better through the game.
It's a great point, Terry. Like he was, he didn't look like a penalty shot, didn't seem to faze him, didn't get nervous. He just go out and did his thing and got better through the game even. Confident to make plays and confident to stick his nose in. So it was a really, really good game for him, and it's not just him. I mean, Minten also, when he played the other night out in Ottawa, also had a strong game. Both, two guys they're really good examples of guys that, they come in and you talk about them just being here for the experience, but they come in, they start both games on the 4th line, and I'm not giving them a whole lot of ice time early, and they're just doing their best with everything that they get, and then you just keep noticing them. And like I talked about last night, you end up talking yourself into playing them more. And what maybe was going to be a short stay here, now they're hanging around, they're getting more experience. That's what you want to see, is guys just taking what you give them and doing their best that they can with it.
I know you said John was doing individual work the other morning. Is he on track, do you think, to get into a game tomorrow still?
Yeah, John's playing tomorrow. That was a plan all along. Nothing else other than that. It's just how we were gonna, I talked with him well before camp began and sort of mapped out, how he wanted things to go, what he thought was best for him, and we're on that path.
With him, we saw him playing a bit on the wing down the stretch last season. The way you're building it right now, it looks like he might be mostly at center and maybe not playing with William and Mitch as consistently as he's done in the past. Like, how would you assess his ability to kind of stay ahead of the time curve and still maximize himself in that?
John's all about the team. He wants to see the team do well. So we come present him, with a scenario that we were building, and he's all for it, all about it. We'll continue to evaluate John's situation, John's line, the other lines. It's a daily discussion that we'll have. But we talked about we're not going to be emotional about anything. We want to give this some time to breathe through the preseason and perhaps beyond that. But we'll continue to look at it. But John is he's all in on whatever we believe is going to help the team. He's going to do everything he can to make it work, whether that's center, wing, no matter who his line mates are. John, at this point in his career, more than any other, of course, is all about winning. And the more guys we have like that, the better. And we've got lots of them here.